right, what is going on, everyone? I hope you're having a wonderful day. You know, going through the YouTube comments, there's a lot of not direct negativity, but a lot of hate in the industry. You know, we're going to talk about a bunch of stuff on our podcast, our live podcast on the Big Bass Dreams channels. We're going to talk about all the cool stuff going on in the industry, maybe the not so cool stuff, good, the bad, the ugly. But one of the big things going on right now is the big influx of swim baits, whether it was the Berkeley Coal Shad back a little bit ago, the Nessie, the Dangerous swim bait, the 6 Cents Hangover. Industry's just gotten a lot of hate. There's a big separation between like your traditional swim bait guys that are used to throwing these swim baits, and then a bunch of new guys that might not have as much knowledge or information on these topics directly. Now, a lot of people have been talking that the first video I did announcing the swim bait was in, I didn't go in depth about that swim bait. Chris Zaldain did a wonderful job explaining the differences between the Dangerous swim bait right here, right, and the OG, the Magdraft. He even put the Magdraft in his video, which I thought was amazing for him. You know, a lot of other creators out there, a lot of other pro anglers wouldn't even mention another brand, especially one that they're no longer sponsored by. But Chris did a wonderful video. He pointed out a lot of, not quite the flaws, but pointed out how the Dangerous swim bait here improved on the Magdraft. And I thought that was wonderful. So I'm going to just rehash kind of what he said real quick. So, of course, the Magdraft by Megabass is the OG soft swimmer here with the harnessed system. Right off the bat, guys, the Dangerous swim bait is completely different. This is a line-through top hook design with a single hook. The Magdraft here came in a freestyle. It comes in the harnessed. And those are the main that's like the biggest difference, right? So obviously, right off the bat, you know, if you're a novice looking at the baits here, they do look very, very similar, mainly for the fact that they are 6-inch soft swim baits. They both have that longer profile, longer shad profile, and to a fish, you know, what this profile really does, it makes it look like a big small meal, something that they can easily just slurp down. It's kind of like a herring profile where it's long, skinny, and they can easily just eat it. It's going to fold up. It's not even that big of a meal to them, to be honest. You know, a lot of the fish out there, especially your really big trophy class fish, are eating 8, 9, 10, 12-inch gizzard shad, or even other fish out there, you know. They'll eat their own kind. Bass will eat other bass. And it's just a dog eats dog world out there in the fishing on your lakes and ponds and stuff. But, you know, the big main difference is, let's talk about the body aesthetics of the two baits here. So the Magdraft, the OG, Chris talks about this. The bait itself is very oval shaped, where it's tall and it has the most amount of plastic out on the sides. Now, the way that Chris designed the loaded swim bait and really wanted to make sure about on this bait is so that you can reel it at multiple different speeds. Now, he decided to go with a pyramid shape, more like this, with all the weight being at the belly. In my previous video, I showed you that the weight system goes all the way down the belly here. Not all the way, about halfway down, and it very well balances this bait in the water. It's not going to roll over. You can reel it at faster speeds. And there's a whole lot of different things you can do with this bait here. You can drag it on the bottom. He talked about how he put extra plastic in the front of the bait here on the nose, to where if you are dragging it on rocks and stuff, it's not going to tear open. The harness isn't going to just shoot out the front. I thought that was super awesome. So body shape, this is a pyramid here. This is more like an oval on the Magdraft. Another key difference here, just moving back from head to tail, are going to be the pectoral fins here, and that's going to be the little side swimmers, or the little side fins right there. You can see there's a lot more plastic on the Dangerous swim bait compared to the Magdraft. These are both going to be stabilizing fins, so as they do go through the water and plane, it's going to help it stabilize, kind of like an airplane, right? These here on the Magdraft are angled down at a pretty good angle. I would say about the same as the Dangerous swim bait. However, there's a lot more rigidity in plastic on the Dangerous swim bait to help it stabilize itself and also plane down in the water. So in terms of footprint of width, the Dangerous swim bait is going to be a lot wider on that fin area than the Magdraft. Now, moving back towards the tail section, guys, I will also note the heads are a little bit different too. The Magdraft head is a lot skinnier than the Daingerous head, and that's going to, you know, really have that real side-to-side wobble from your Magdraft. Your Daingerous Swimbait has more of a left to right head wiggle, and that's going to be due to the tail design. Now, Zaldain talked about this as well. Your two different tails here. See if you can, I don't know if it's going to actually focus on the tails, but the two tails, the Magdraft is going to be almost angled down. It's going to be, I don't know how to describe it. It's basically upside down, right? So you take both these baits, the Magdraft, you flip the tail over, and that's kind of how this one is shaped. Now, the reason Chris decided to go with this style tail here, which is going to be a thicker bottom, is you can reel this a lot faster. You can reel it at slower speeds. It's a very variable tail, so it really doesn't, you know, you can fish it at different speeds. The Magdraft really likes one speed depending on your line size or what size Magdraft you have, and it's generally pretty slow, which, you know, does get a lot of bites. However, if you want to fish different areas around the country, sometimes you need to add weight, sometimes you're fishing current, and sometimes that this Magdraft here doesn't work in all situations. Now, obviously, if you're good at swim baiting, you understand your baits, you can modify this however you want, and it can work out. However, this guy right here comes in two sink rates. It's going to come in the shallow version, which is 1.6, and also a deep version, which is 1.9 ounces. So with the slow and the deep, you can really get a good variance when it comes to the bodies of water that you can fish with it. It also comes in a good amount of colors, not as many as the Magdraft. So the Daingerous Swimbait does come in 5 different colors currently. You got albino, chartreuse shad, blackback shad, what did I say? Chartreuse shad, albino, Texas gizzard, blackback shad, and blueback herring are going to be your main colors. And the Magdraft has just so many. Of course, Megabass has been around for quite a long time, bringing you really, really cool baits from Japan. But this guy right here, the tail is the main difference maker. The fins, the overall body shape, and also the tail, depending on the Magdraft that you have, each tail is going to be just a little bit different. And this is one of the key things that Chris talked about in his video. The tail on the Daingerous Swimbait is going to be a little bit looser than the Magdraft you see here. Now, he did talk about this. He got a couple samples from the factory that the tail would actually bend like way too much. And he said, if it bends too much, it's going to blow out. It's going to cause it not to do a full kick, and it's going to cause it to blow out. So he really dialed in the little details about this bait here to get it to be different from the Magdraft. I will also say there is less material on the tail here, but still a good amount, not to be easily broken. So I definitely foresee me catching plenty and plenty of fish on the Daingerous Swimbait. I've already caught a bunch of fish. If you see, I've posted on our Instagram and Facebook. I've been experimenting with some other hooks. Chris said that in the bait itself, this is just a 5/0 flipping hook, and you can use any straight shank hook you want. They'll work. The beauty of this hook here, it has the bigger eye. It has a good gap. And in true Zaldain fashion, I would imagine he actually bends this hook point up just slightly to get a better hookup ratio. I tried the spear point straight shank. It works wonderfully. It's a thinner gauge wire. You don't have to really just set the hook super hard. You can use a medium heavy, or like a medium heavy rod instead of just a heavy or extra heavy rod to throw this. And overall, I enjoy fishing this guy a little bit more than your traditional Magdraft. That's just me. I hope you guys are learning stuff from our channel here. Of course, I don't know it all. I don't claim to know it all. I just want to show you the subtle differences between the Magdraft and the Daingerous Swimbait. Of course, I do have some things to say about the hangover. A lot of the similarities between that and like a 316. And actually, one thing that I do notice about this bait here, for those of you who aren't I guess swim bait literate in that old style swim bait stuff. This bait here is very reminiscent of something like an Osprey talon where it has that top hook and it has most of the weight on the bottom, where it was meant to be dragged, you know, in super deep water, like 30, 40 foot near the bottom, just ticking over rocks and stuff. So I think it's a good mix of a bunch of different swim baits. You know, Chris uses a ton of swim baits. He likes the tater hog. I know he's got bull shads. He's got them all. You know, he's just a swim baiter OG at heart, right? He's been doing it for a very long time. And I would imagine that he did take some inspiration from something like an osprey. Now, that's just me generalizing, right? I don't know for sure, but to me, this is a very good mix between something like an osprey and a Magdraft, where it's got the nice Magdraft looking body, where it is just such an easy meal for even like a little 3-4 pounder to come up and just suck this thing in, get a hook, and you're going. And of course, the line through design isn't new. The Defiant has a very similar harness design, and the Defiant's been out for a long time. I do enjoy the top hook. I do wish there was something for the bottom, but of course, with this being modular and being able to be worked on the bottom, you know, you can't always have those things there. So I hope you enjoyed this little comprehensive review and talk about these two really cool baits here. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm still going to be fishing my Magdrafts. I'm still going to be fishing the Dangerous swim bait. Of course, different situations for scoping. The Dangerous swim bait is a very good scope bait. Of course, in the deep version and the shallow version, you can also add whatever weight you want to these. So overall, the lead strip at the bottom here definitely gives this bait a good return on live scope. Definitely check out Bait Pop to improve your forward-facing you know, experience. You can see your baits a lot easier. Of course, the shad scales and the scent definitely help out as well. But we are going to get these back in stock here in about a week in all the different colors. I don't know when the 7-inch are coming in. I hope they come in pretty soon. I'm definitely interested to see the big differences. I would imagine, to me, like an 8-inch Magdraft is just so big. I know there's other big baits out there, but for a soft bait, throwing an 8-inch bait can get tiresome here and there. Of course, it catches fish. The main reason I think Zaldain didn't go with an 8-inch is because it's such a specific bite that he wanted something just a little bit smaller profile, something to be a little more tournament friendly maybe, and that's why he decided to go with a 7-inch. So I'm very interested to see maybe the subtle differences between the 7 and the 6-inch Dangerous swim bait. And I hope you guys, again, enjoyed this little video here. You know, these baits are definitely different. I think that situationally they can be interchanged here and there, but I think your variance in things you can do with the bait and the Dangerous swim bait is one of its key strengths. Of course, the body design is a lot different, and you can work it a lot faster, a lot slower than something like the Magdraft here. So guys, I hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoy this content we're doing here. Leave a like on the video, and we will see you next time when we get some more of these in. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you.